who spent a whole session on tactical fouls for the girls to do at corners to piss off the opposition.
Yeah,
places to be in, how to stand, little digs they can do, how to move, all sorts of stuff that he thinks that they could do to get away with, to give us a competitive edge when attacking and defending corners. So I would conjecture that is also part of the plan, that, there's, delivery is good, where we need to deliver, but on top of that, can we be a bit smarter in the area, and be a bit more nasty, a bit more shithousey.
But let's remember, when everybody was talking about Leicester and this incredible Cinderella season they were talking about, I read this great article in one of my favorite football publications, When Saturday Comes.
It's a good pod.
I haven't seen their podcast. I've just gotten the actual
magazine.
It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I think it's just the pod now. I think they stopped
it?
Yeah.
But I just remember they were like, you want to buy in the Cinderella story of this non-league striker scoring in every goal like a talisman, and Schmeichel's son, and Drinkwater, and Ranieri coming out, and how this season started with Nigel Pearson's son racially abusing a Thai hooker, and because it happened, and all this stuff. They go, don't be fooled. They practice the dark arts. There's like elbows and whatever. And let's also be honest with ourselves. We all hate a dirty player till he plays for us. Like Claudio Yacoub and Dele punching him in the stomach. That motherfucker had a punch coming to his stomach. After all the needling and all the whatever, he's a man. And every man's got their breaking point. We don't know. We weren't tracking Romero and, Diet Guendouzi the whole time. We weren't Sideshow Bob, was very gifted and they spent a lot of money on him. But who knows? And that we already know Kenny Romero's got like a hair trigger, and we want that.
Yeah, let's get into that actually, because I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. But some of this shithousing tactics, because I know some people despise it and some people actually really like it. Maybe I'm being a bit wicked here, but I actually quite like not all of it. But it's part of the game, and you see a lot of teams that are winners will do anything to win, and all that stuff. Like sticking a thumb in someone's ribs, or shouting in their face. I know a lot of people don't like all that, but you see it all the time with these type of teams. They're doing it all the time to seek advantage, to get a player sent off, etc. Like you were saying, Adam, there, I actually, it's a refreshing change. Nobody fucking likes us anyway. As a team, so we might as well be hated even more, because we basically, like yesterday, I thought we won the dark arts game. We were worse than them in that way, and I think actually that's a side of us that we haven't seen and actually is needed. It's a bit like when Mourinho said, you're nice, but you need to be see you next Tuesdays, basically, didn't he?
But he said,
anyone's got any sort of opposing thoughts on that?
But he said you've got to be smart, and being dark arts done smart is genius, and everybody should do it. But
look at Thiago Silva after that incredibly fearsome shove by Harry Kane. But that bitch ass protesting that slide tackle, Thiago Silva. Kane blew on his back, touched his lower back, and the guy flew like Hulk, punched him in the taint.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think there's a fine line.
I think there is,
Simon, being smart, and actually basically losing your shit and doing something that's going to get you a red.
Yeah, but I think you're quite right, because you can't get away from the fact there are 30 cameras around the pitch, so you're going to get it's all going to be filmed. So if you're Romero pulling Cucurella's hair, you're going to be seen doing it, aren't you?
Yeah. He pulled his fucking head to the ground.
Exactly.
But I've got no problem with that, and I know, Steve, you didn't like it, but I'm thinking that for me I just get away with it. It's part of the game.
But how can you get away with it? How can you get away with it?
Well, that's
he did.
That's why.
Yeah, I know, but how can you get away with it?
Because it's not in the rules. There's nothing in the rules to say you can't pull someone's hair.
Well, there is. I mean, it's violent conduct. It's violent conduct. Yeah.
But they've looked at it again.
Yeah,
and said nothing.
But they're being arseholes, because it is violent conduct. And like, if I take it away from the fact that we benefited from it, and it's a Spurs versus Chelsea or whatever. From a personal perspective, personally, I'm totally against it for the reasons I said yesterday. I've had it happen to me. It ain't nice. I've seen it happen to my son. It ain't nice. And I don't agree with it. You can do so many other things and achieve the same outcome. James hauled down Son without having any need to to bodily touch him apart from.
But he should have got a second yellow for that, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So,
but Steve, a lot of people do like it. A lot of people do like it, and they think that's one of the parts of our game that's been missing for a long time. I mean, I've seen today mock-ups of T-shirts that people are going to get made of that.
Yeah, well, listen, I have to tell you, as someone who's supported for a fraction of the time you guys have, and why would you support these bottle jobs? They showed me a photo of an empty cabinet. Here's your trophy cabinet, la, 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 la. At the end of the day, though, people are going to have, like you say, that bias. But how much did they fall in love with Jamie Vardy when he said, "Chat shit, get banged"? When he went forehead to forehead with that mutt Diego Costa. That at the end of the day, we like that. And everyone's going to go, oh, when Harry is going to hurt someone because he does that thing like making a back when another player goes up and he'll round and stuff like this. But when we see Lukaku, or when we used to see Drogba, or these big target men, Nunez, seeing these, even Haaland. I remember I had seen Haaland play for Red Bulls in Naples. These boys throw their body around, and we almost love that about them. That they're not like Fernando Torres. They're not these pretty ponies that do these little striky things. That they're grown-ass men that want to assert their dominance on the pitch. And it's one of the biggest things I loved about Conte. Tuchel is there, following orders for Joseph Goebbels and yelling in his face. And
what's the difference between the first Battle of the Bridge, where Lamela stepped on Fabregas's hand and could have broken his fingers, to which everybody loved, by the way, and I still play many times back.
It was nonchalant, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's nonchalant. He looked away and then but stepped on his hand, right? What's the difference between that and then pulling his hair? And okay, it's not nice, but it's not meant to. It's meant to probably get him to react, to get him sent off. And that's I know it's. I mean, listen, the game shouldn't be like that, but it fucking is like that.
Yeah, but I think on a serious note, the problem is kids see this and then they try and do that in games on a Saturday, and this is where it all falls down. But, we think it's a bit of fun.
But as Lee says, I mean, whether it's someone standing on someone's hand or pulling hair, kids see it all. But I don't know. For me, it's just a personal. I think it's just a personal thing. Like from the hair perspective, that's just my personal.
Totally get that.
It's not like the standing on the hand. I thought was a bit naughty, but that's fine.
But who needs hands?
We've all got hands, but we've all not everyone on the pitch has got really long hair, and I just I don't know.
What about eye gouging, Steve? Should we go through a list? Should we go through a list?
Yeah, 100%. But on the battle of the bridge thing, Lee, for me, yesterday's Battle of the Bridge is a better Battle of the Bridge than the one before.
Oh, we completely lost it on that first one, didn't we?
100%. There was more control about that. It was driven from the side on yesterday, whereas we just totally lost control in that game. And in terms of outcomes, yesterday was a better outcome for us. Based on the game and the context of the game and how the game was panning out in comparison to the previous game. Yeah.
And an inverse. I was at the Battle of the Bridge, and the first half, we were up 2-0. I couldn't understand. I turned to my cameraman. It was his first ever game, and I got us tickets. I said, this is going to be awesome. We're going to park the bus at Chelsea. And I couldn't believe that Pochettino was still playing up, trying to score more goals. For 45 minutes, defend. Who gives a shit if they're upset? Who cares? And then that's the game that Eden Hazard decides to remember to play again. It was just so foolish to try, and it was the inverse. Now the second half, we have this stuff. It's just at some point, you have to realize, oh, Leicester, they just defend and hit you on the break. Fine, but they won the league. Who cares? I don't have to play attractive football. I just have to beat you. Is that what they say? My friend who did the running of the bulls in Pamplona. I don't have to be fast. I just got to be faster than you. That's it.
And to be fair, I mean, there's a couple of things here. Sorry, I'm aware. I want to get Richard's and Simon's views on this as well, actually. But
sorry, could I just interject?
No.
Liverpool are 1 down.
Oh, good. Yes, get in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What I was going to say is that yesterday the crying, as you put it as well, Steve, from the Chelsea fans about that draw, which felt like a win, didn't it? With us scoring the 96th minute. It's so ironic considering they celebrated that 2-2, the first Battle of the Bridge, like they'd won the bloody title as well. So there's all sorts of hypocrisy going on here. But I actually think this is where I think they might get clobbered, actually, because we've just learned that the two of the managers have been charged by the FA, is that those probably led it, because there was a lot of stuff going on that touchline that really did, I think, inflame the situation. But to me, I mean, of course, we're biased. And you might, hopefully you can try and be a bit more objective. But it felt to me like Tuchel was on a bit of a mission to wind Conte up.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. He didn't need to do that skipping, running, slender man celebration, running past them. And you even saw Conte said on Insta, if I had seen you, I would have tripped you.
Tripped you, yeah. And that fucking handshake thing at the end, that was pathetic.
Oh, come on,
he did
man.
the same thing, didn't he, to the Burnley manager? Yeah, he did. He sort of he basically walked off, didn't look him in the eye. He did that himself. So it's again another level of hypocrisy. Okay. It's all. It's all silly stuff.
It's all exactly that. It's all showmanship for the sake of.
Does anyone know what? I mean, I don't know if I missed it, but when we equalised, right, and Conte just went from there to there in my estimation, and he's in Tuchel's face, fucking shouting and screaming in his face and celebrating, but something must have triggered that. Because obviously
Tuchel running past him.
No, that was Tuchel running past him was for the 2-1, I thought.
Yes. So that was his comeback. That was his how you like me now, bitch. And that's why Tuchel was going, you should have been, VAR should have pulled that tackle, should have da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, but there was something earlier. I don't know what it was.
Didn't he complain about the first goal? So was it? Richard?
Yes, he did. Yeah,
he complained about the first goal because I'm trying to remember what it was specifically, but he remonstrated around the first goal. I believe that should have not have stood.
Yeah.
Who Tuchel did?
Yes.
Yeah, to one of the officials.
Yeah. So that was the goal. That was the goal.
Oh yeah, because that was the tackle. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the goal that Conte's gone up to Tuchel in the dugout and was really in his face. Yeah, it was the first goal. It wasn't the second goal. And in the second goal, he just celebrated with our dugout. And then for Chelsea's second goal, Tuchel ran up the line. Exactly. He ran down the line. But something that I don't know, I may have missed. I don't know, but something triggered Conte to get into Tuchel's face after the equaliser.
I reckon it was to do with that Kai Havertz tackle, actually, because that happened like a minute earlier. Right. And that's what they were all complaining about. So I reckon that's what probably triggered it.
Which tackle was it? The tackle on...
It was the one where Kai Havertz was coming through and Bentancur took him right out from behind.
Yeah. But it didn't really show that it was he actually got ball? Didn't he ultimately?
Yeah, he got the ball.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Yeah. So Bentancur got the ball, but he was demonstrating about that, and so that's kind of what sparks it all off. And then of course,
I think so.
I'm just conscious I haven't given Rich much of a chance here, so I'm just going to ask you, Rich, for your succinct, erudite, and analytical view of the shit housing.
Fucking brilliant.
Yep. Okay.
That was my succinct version. I'll be honest. So I'm in a bit of a two minds about this. Like, I agree with a lot of what Steve says, I am also a man with long hair, and I also used to play a bit of sport, and I used to play rugby rather than football, so I had an awful lot of that sort of stuff. And so I really do understand what Steve says about it, and I would be happy if it wasn't part of the game, and I don't think it